students cleared and they entered the final list, and success rate was around 5.5%.
Sorry for the intervention, sir, but still the sound is not.
Hello.
Sir, still your voice is breaking. Not able to hear.
Still my voice is breaking.
No, sir. For some of us, it's perfect now, sir.
Uh, some people can
The
hear me very well.
voice is
Comment
not
does sound
cracking.
low.
Please raise your voice. Raise the mic volume.
Actually my video is I of my video.
If it's possible, please raise the voice of mic.
My voice my voice level is maximum. My voice level is the maximum.
So if you don't mind, can you please be loud?
Yeah. I'm speaking as loud as I can.
Sir, we can hear you clearly now, sir.
Okay. You hear me? You can hear me?
Yeah. Now it's fine.
Yes, sir.
I think Zoom seems to be quite better than this WebEx. Okay then. Okay then. So okay. Then why geography is a popular or the most favorite option of students? What are the major reasons for that? The first thing is that geography is a scientific subject. Geography is a scientific subject. That means the basics of that subject is very important. Whenever you complete the basics or whenever you go through the basics, actually the 50% or half of your burden is over. With the help of the basic subject or the basic knowledge, you can answer most of the questions which are usually asking from the basic background. So it's a scientific subject. That means when you got the scientific thing or when you got the basic thing, even you can prepare a lot of things by yourself. And a support or a coaching or a teaching is needed for some areas or from some conventional areas. So that's why the geography is a popular option for almost all the students those who are appearing the civil examination. This is the main examination. And second thing is the availability of coaching and the study materials is very high because the coaching for the geography is available in everywhere, even in Trivandrum, even in every part of the country. In Delhi also, the geography is one of the popular coaching, popular subject coaching, and the study materials are very popular. It can easily available from any medium. But while you're reading these materials, you need a advice or you need a coordination or you need a teacher for understanding these things because almost all the notes are written in a compactability mode. So you need a teacher or you need a mentor or you need a tutor for understanding these things. And the success rate of the subject is very high among the. I'm only told that success rate of the subject is very high among the popular options. So ഓപ്ഷണൽ പേർപ്പസിനകത്ത് ഏറ്റവും കൂടുതൽ സക്സസ് റേറ്റ് ഉള്ള അല്ലെങ്കിൽ മോർ പെർസെൻറ്റേജ് സക്സസ് റേറ്റ് ഉള്ള ഒരു സെക്ഷനാണ് ഈ ജോഗ്രഫി ഓപ്ഷൻ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. ആൻഡ് ദ മോസ്റ്റ് ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻറ്റ് തിങ് ഈസ് ദാറ്റ് majority of the portions from geography optional paper have a correlation with the GS paper 1, your GS paper 1 for the preliminary examination. You will be understood when you go through the syllabus because most of the topics like in geography we will studying about economical geography. Economical geography is a topic which have a very high correlation or which have a very high similarity with the economic topic of your topic. In economy, you definitely will study about the agriculture sector. Definitely you will study about the agrarian problems, or the you will study about the GDP, or you will study about the resources, and all these things are included in geography option. So the geography options in economic geography optional paper have a very high correlation with the GS paper for your preliminary examination. So when you go through the when you study the options, the burden, your extra burden for studying GS paper will be minimized or will be lowered because most of the topics are correlated with the GS paper. It will be understood when you go through the syllabus. I will show you the syllabus. I will be detailing the syllabus. Then you will get the clear-cut image about what is you got that most of the portions have a correlation with your GS paper. Okay, these are the major facts. That's why the students are choosing geography as one of their dearest subjects. Okay, then what are the other positive things, or what are the pros of taking geography option for UPSC exam? What are the major positive sides? Because geography have a definite syllabus. The definite syllabus of geography make it easy for the candidate, which encourage them to go for self-study for most of the areas. That's what I told you earlier. It's a scientific subject. So when you complete the basic things, you can easily go through you can easily go through about 40% of the syllabus, because that things are entirely depending upon the basics. That means when you study about the interior of geography from your basic textbooks, you can easily read the evolution of interior of geography, evolution interior of the earth. And when you study the climatology, basics of climatology, you can easily read which are the major pressure belts on earth, which are the major climatical regions of the earth, and all things will be easily understood to you even you go through the basics. And geography is easy to understand and more scientific subject. That is why it is preferred by many aspirants from science, medical, and engineering background. It's an interesting thing, because most of the students, those who are choosing geography as an optional object, coming from either science, medical, or engineering background. There are a lot of art students are there. A lot of art students are there. They are also taking the geography option, because geography option, even the syllabus is very vast, it is very easy to study. That's the main advantage of the geography option. That means it is preferred by most of the students, especially they are from science, medical, and engineering background. Also, the art students are also choosing from. And there is no shortage of study material, and several books are available for the geography, because almost all the reference books for the geography options are available in the market. At the same time, it's available in Telegram also. So you don't bother about the reference materials. It's an easily available one. You can't roam anywhere for the material. It's easily available from your from Telegram also. And in our preparation, in my strategy is to give lecture notes along with this class. It will be more helpful to you than reading the reference textbooks, because I am preparing the notes by going through this whole reference textbook. And geography optional syllabus has tremendous overlap with the general studies, both in prelims and mains. As I told you earlier, in geography options we are studying about economic geography, studying about agriculture geography, we're studying about the resources, we're studying about the natural calamities, and we are also studying about the environment. And all these things are included in your GS paper, that is for the prelims and the mains. As you know, the environment ecology portion is one of the important topic for your preliminary examination. Environment ecology topic. Here in geography option, we have an area for the environment, environmental geography. In that part, every geography optional students will go through the basics of the environment, and that's why they get good command over the environment ecology portion of the preliminary examination. So that's the easy thing. That's the main attractive thing. Okay, and another one of the important thing for the geography option is there is no much scope for interpretation. In many options, sometimes questions are asking in a way of interpret the thing, or if you interpret in your own way. But in geography, there is no much scope for interpretation. More than this, the diagrams, chart, etc., can be used to get more marks. That's one of the important things, because in ideal geography answer paper is look like it is inserted with a lot of diagrams and drawings. Actually, it's an issue, because we have some overlapping with the GS paper. Many students, those who choosing the geography options, have a tendency to write the GS, have a tendency to write the optional paper the same way that they write the GS paper. They have a tendency to write the optional paper in the same way in which they are writing the GS paper. Actually, that's a danger thing, because GS and optional, they are different ones. In optional, we need an extra study, or the answer should be more precise and should be more advanced than the GS paper. So, in geography optional paper, the answer should include diagrams, drawing, and all these things. And there is no much scope for interpretation, or there is much scope for extra writing. That's one of the interesting thing, and at the same time, it's one of the very dangerous things. Okay. Then the map-based questions are also scoring and easy to answer. That's one of the important things for geography optional paper. For the second paper, for the geography option, we have some Hello. Hello, now I'm audible to you?
Yes, sir. Speak.
Speak.
Okay.
So you're audible now.
Okay then. Okay, right. Thank you.
ഉള്ള സംസാരിക്കാൻ നല്ലതുപോലെ കേൾക്കുന്നുണ്ട്.
ഇപ്പൊ നാല് കേൾക്കാമോ?
അതെ, കേൾക്കാം.
Yes, sir.
അപ്പൊ എന്റെ ഹെഡ്ഫോണിന്റെ കുഴപ്പമായിരുന്നല്ലേ ഇത്രയും നേരം. സോറി. ഓക്കെ, അപ്പോ സോ വി ആർ ഡിസ്കസിങ് ദാറ്റ് നമ്മുടെ ഈ പറയുന്ന ജോഗ്രഫി ഓപ്ഷൻസിൽ നേരത്തെ പറഞ്ഞ പോലെ നമ്മുടെ GS പേപ്പറുമായിട്ട് ഒരു വെരി മച്ച് ഓവർലാപ്പിംഗ് ഉണ്ട്. അതുപോലെ തന്നെ ദർ ഇസ് നോട്ട് മച്ച് സ്കോപ്പ് ഫോർ ദ ഇന്റർപ്രിട്ടേഷൻ ഓൾസോ. അതായത് നിങ്ങൾ പറയുന്ന ഈ വെൻ യു റൈറ്റിംഗ് ഓപ്ഷൻസ് ലൈക്ക് public administration, sociology, lot of questions are asking to interpret the things. But for geography options, there is less scope for the interpretation. More than that, diagrams and map-based questions are there. And one thing, for second paper, for the Indian geography, we have 10 questions from map or location-based questions. Actually, these questions are from current affairs or the places they are usually mentioned in news. So it is very easy question. It is a very easy one, because when you go through the maps every day, or when you go through the maps while you reading the current affairs materials, it will be very helpful for you answering the first session of questions of second paper, that is the Indian geography. So the map-based questions are there. That's a very scoring one, and they are very easy to answer. That's one of the other things for the geography option. That's a good thing for geography options. And the last thing is that students can answer questions related to local region, economy, and climate questions, which is common to UPSC personality test. While you attending the UPSC personality tests, there will be common questions about your location, your region. What's the importance of your location, or what's the importance of your place where you're coming from? So these questions are quite common. And when you have a good geographical command, or when you choose the geography as an option, you can easily answer these questions, and you can easily explain what are the geographical importance and what are the geographical characteristics of your place. So these are the major advantages of geography options. These are some of the major advantages of geography options. There are many. Then what are the major negative impacts of what are the negative things with geography options? So not negative, they are just some cons for geography options. Okay. See, there's not much thing to say, but there are some. The biggest negative point about geography is that it covers a vast syllabus. It's a vast syllabus. Okay. because geography syllabus is one of the vast syllabus among other other options for the civil examinations, because it's covering and the entire thing about from the basics, from the physical geography to economic geography to the agriculture geography, and the syllabus including many things. So it is a vast syllabus. Even it is a vast syllabus, it is very easy to understand. Okay, because of much correlation with the GS topics, students have a tendency to answer the optional question in the GS style. So one of the other problem I told you earlier, because the GS topic, the subjects in or the topics in geography option have a very much correlation with the GS topics. So students have a tendency to answer the optional questions in a GS style. Some of the negative impact from the student side. So whenever they're trying to answer in that style, they will not get enough mark, and it will reflect in their total marks. So then the other thing is that the competition in this subject is very gigantic. I told you earlier, in 2018 and 19, around 2,000 students are chosen geography as their options. So the competition level is very high when compared to other option subjects. Even though the success rate is also high, that means around 147 students are entered into the surveys by taking geography as their options. And the other thing is there are questions based on contemporary issues. That's one of the topic in geography syllabus. There is an area discussing about the contemporary issues. So the contemporary issues are very dynamic, and regular updating is required. That is, the contemporary issues are related to current affairs. So a regular reading is required for dealing with these contemporary issues. That's one of the thing, because that area is not the static one, it's a dynamic one. So the students should go through the current affairs topics and all that things. Actually, that's not an extra work, because as a part of your GS paper, you should go through the current affairs. So it will be completed with your preparations along with the GS paper. So it's not an issue, but there is a topic related to contemporary issues. Okay, then I'm going to the syllabus. That's the important thing. So what is actually we are going to study in geography, or what is actually included in geography? That's the important thing. In geography, we have two papers. Paper 1, the principles of geography, and paper 2, the geography of India. These are the two papers in geography. So the first paper is principles of geography. In principles of geography, the first thing is the physical geography. In physical geography, we have the geomorphology area. So when you go through the syllabus, you can easily find that there's a lot of topics which have a coincidence with your GS paper. Okay, the first thing is that in geomorphology, the first topic is factors controlling the landform development, endogenetic and exogenetic forces. It's actually in your GS topic. That is the endogenetic and exogenetic forces, that the forces acting from inside and the forces acting from outside the earth. That is the forces responsible for the landform development. This topic is included in your GS paper. And second one, the origin and evolution of earth crust. Is actually an optional thing. Origin and evolution of earth crust is an optional thing, and there is not much study in GS from that area. And the fundamental geomagnetism is there. It is an optional thing. Then the physical condition of the earth interior. Physical condition of earth interior is particularly GS area. The physical condition of the earth interior. That means which are the major conditions, physical conditions, whether it is liquid, whether it is solid, or whether it is gaseous, and that things are also included in your GS paper. The next is the geosyncline. Geosyncline is purely an optional subject. That's an optional area. Then the next one is the continental drift. The continental drift you will study, and you will definitely study the continental drift in GS paper. Then isostasy is an option thing. Then I have the plate tectonics. The plateletonics is a GS area. Then the volcanicity, earthquake and tsunamis, and these all things are found in GS paper. That means from the geomorphological area, around 50% is the topic have a correlation with the GS paper. Okay, and the purely optional things are the geosyncline, the isostasy, the recent views on mountain building, the concept of geomorphologic cycles, landscape development, denudation chronology, channel morphology, then erosion surface, slope development, applied geomorphology, geohydrology, economic geology, and environment. നിങ്ങൾ പേര് കേട്ട് പേടിക്കേണ്ട ആവശ്യമൊന്നുമില്ല. ഈ പറയുന്ന ടേംസിന്റെ ഈ ടേം കേട്ട് പേടിക്കേണ്ട ആവശ്യമൊന്നുമില്ല. ആക്ച്വലി ഇറ്റ് ഇസ് ഇൻക്ലൂഡിങ് ഈ പറയുന്ന അപ്ലൈഡ് ജിയോമോർഫോളജി ആൻഡ് ജിയോഹൈഡ്രോളജി. ദിസ് ഇസ് ആക്ച്വലി ഡീലിംഗ് വിത്ത് the things that where we can found the petroleum reserves, where we can found the groundwater reservoirs. So these things are dealing with the applied geomorphology and geohydrology. Then economic geology and environment. Economic geology is dealing with the things in which the landscapes which are available for settlement and which kind of landscapes are useful for settlements and economical activities, and how the settlement is affecting the environment. These things are dealing with the economic geology and the environment. Then this denudation chronology, channel morphology. When you are studying about the river systems, you will study about the 3 stages of rivers: young stage, the mature stage, and old stage. And by this river action, you can see the formation of gorges, canyons, then plains and deltas. And the evolution of these geographical features are dealing with the channel morphology, denudation chronology, and erosional surfaces. So actually the terms are seems to be difficult, but the content in that things are very easy. So it is very easy to study. The next is the climatology. It's one of the easiest portion in geography option, climatology. Let's have a look. Temperature and pressure belt of the world. Temperature and pressure belts of the world. It's one of the prime topic in GS. Heat budget of the earth. That is a little bit optional. Atmospheric circulation. See, the temperature and pressure belts in that area, you will study about pressure belts of the earth. Equatorial low pressure belts, subtropical high pressure belts, and subpolar low pressure belts. All these things are included in temperature and pressure belts of the world. Atmospheric circulations. Atmospheric circulations including the upward and downward movement of the air and formation of the clouds and precipitation also. Then atmospheric stability and instability. That is dealing with related to the formation of cyclones, fronts, etc. And these are purely GS things. Next is the planetary and local winds. The planetary and local winds, that topic is the most one of the important topic for the preliminary examination. Planetary and local winds. And monsoons and jet streams. Air masses and endogenesis, it's in GS. Temperature and tropical cyclones, definitely in GS. Then types and the distribution of precipitation, the kind of precipitation, the snowfall, the rainfall, the different type of rainfalls, all these things are GS. And next to the coming things are, and the rest of the other things are from the optional for the purely geography optional. That is the weather and climate. From this portion, climatology is a little bit a tough one, or it is purely dealing with the optional papers. Weather and climate. Köppen's, Tomate and Trivarte classification of world climate is purely optional paper. Hydrological cycle. Yes, it's a GS paper, hydrological cycle. In GS also you will study about the hydrological cycle. And the global climatical change and response of the man in climatical change, applied climatology and urban climate, and these all things are I think my PPT was gone. Where is that? Okay. So the last portion of climatology is a weather and climate, Köppen's Thornwarte and Trovarte classification of world climate. Actually, this is a little bit a tough one, and it is actually a purely optional area. Hydrological cycle is there. Global climatical change and role of response of man in climatical change. Actually, these are the most important topics in GS paper. In every preliminary examination, you have questions from this area: global climatical change and role of response of man in climatical change, including the major climatical summits and all these things. And applied climatology and urban climate. Applied climatology and urban climate is a little bit optional paper, but some of the areas are related with the GS paper also. And climatology part, you can see that most of the areas of climatology parts have an correlation with the GS paper. Okay, then we go into the next topic. That is the oceanography. That means the study about the oceans. See, what are the major topics? Bottom topography of the Atlantic, Indian, and Pacific Oceans. Bottom topography, that means the bottom structure of these major oceans, Atlantic, Indian, and Pacific Oceans. It is a GS topic because in bottom topography, as per the bottom topography, an ocean can be divided into a continental shelf, continental slope, and then basal plains and etc. And these things are involved in GS paper also. And the bottom topography of Atlantic, Indian, and Pacific Oceans of geography option have a good relation, good correlation with your GS paper. Then temperature and salinity of the ocean, it's purely an optional one. Ocean deposits, waves, current, and tides. These are the GS topics. Then marine resources, biotic, mineral, and energy resources. It is optional. Again, the coral reef, coral bleaching, sea level changes, law of the sea, and the marine pollution. These are the GS topics. So around, someone is changing my slides. So kindly do not do that. See, students, kindly do not change my slide. Okay. So from oceanography part, more than 50% of the topics have a correlation with the GS paper. So it is very easy to study. Then biogeography. Biogeography is actually including the soil and soil formation, soil profile, and all that things. This part also have a good correlation good correlation with the GS paper. See, the genesis of the soil. I mean the formation of the soil, classification and distribution of soils, which are the major kind of soils and where they are occurred and where they are found. These two topics are exclusively for the GS paper. Then soil erosion is there, degradation and conservation. Exactly, they are GS papers from the they are included in the GS paper. Then factors influencing world distribution of plant and animals. It is an optional thing. Factors influence world distribution of plant and animals. So in this area, you have to study some names of some plants and animals, but it's actually not a hard thing, because for environment and ecology portions, you have to study the name of some animals and name of some plants in and around the world, where they are found, and what environment they are living. And so that area is not a tough one. The factors include the world distribution of plant animals. Then problems of deforestation and conservation measures. These are the hot topics for prelims, also for mains GS papers. The social forestry, agroforestry, wildlife, major gene pool index is exclusively in environment ecology portion of your prelims. So biogeography, also biogeography have an major portion of biogeography have a correlation with the GS paper. And then the environment geography, nothing to say, it have a very high similarity with your environment ecology paper. Principles of ecology, human ecology adaptations, then influence of man on ecology and environment, global and regional ecological change and imbalances, ecosystems, their management and conservation, environmental degradation, management and conservation, biodiversity and sustainable development, environmental policy, environmental hazard, remedial measures, environmental education and legislations. All these things are included in your GS paper for environment ecology. Okay, so while you're studying the geography option, especially in this area, environmental geography, there is nothing to study extra for your environment ecology for prelims. Everything will be covered. Everything is covered in this area. So there is no any extra burden for your environment ecology paper. So that's one of the major advantage of geography option. Okay, then we are moved to the next part, the human geography, or the part B of your geography optional paper. The first thing is the perspective into human geography. And the portions, human geography portions are little bit a tough one. Actually, it's purely a geographical thing, and it is quite a stable thing, because you have to read a lot. There are some concepts, there are some thinkers, and their ideas, their theories, and all these things are included in human geography. But it is very interesting to read. The first thing is the perspective in human geography. In perspective human geography means there are some isms, that is environmentalism, there is dualism, there is determinism, and there is behavioralism, and all these isms are included in perspectives in human geography. But actually, these isms are related to your daily life or the life of mankind. So it is very easy to understand. Okay, the areal differentiation means the regional differentiation, then the regional synthesis, then how these regions are correlating, then dualism, environmentalism. Then environmentalism means how the environment determined the people's actions, how the environment determined the life of the people. The quantitative revolution, that's one of the modern thinking, the quantitative revolution. Then location analysis, what is the location, the aspects of a particular location determine the life and economy of the people. Then radical, behavioral, then human welfare approaches. These are quite modern thinking, and these portions are included in human geographical area. And this is one of the interesting topic one. There is a religions and secularism, culture regions of the world, human development index. All things have a correlation with your GS paper. There's cultural regions as human development index. These are current affairs things, and is also included in your GS paper. The second one is the economic geography. See, the economic geography have a very much correlation with your economic paper for the
GS prelims and for the GS mains. So let's see what are the topics included in this area. The world economic development, its problems and measurements, world resources and their distributions. It's an exclusive thing for the prelims, world resources and their distributions, because the distribution of resources in and around the world, that means where the coal is found in the world, it is the major center for coal reservoirs, and all these are included in economic geography. Then the energy crisis. It's a hot topic for the prelims and for the mains, energy crisis, and it's a contemporary issue, energy crisis. Then world agriculture regions, which are the major world agriculture regions, or what kind of agriculture is practiced in a particular region. That's also included in the economic geography. Then agriculture inputs and productivity also there. Food and nutrition problems. That's a current related issues. Then food security, famine, causes, effects and remedies. World industries, locational patterns and problems, patterns of world trade. And these topics are also included in your economic topic for the prelims examination. So it is very easy to study along with your economic topic. So it is very easy topic for the geography option, economic geography. And then population and settlement geography. Growth and distribution of world population. So the population is one of the major discussing issue and major issue, the current scenario. So the growth and distribution of world populations and what are the trends of population, whether it is increasing or decreasing, and what are the overpopulated countries and which are the underpopulated countries, and all these things are discussed in population settlement geography, and it's one of the important topic for the prelims, also for the mains. Then causes and consequences of migration. What are the major type of migrations? What are the major causes of migrations? So in current scenario, we are facing different kind of migrations. There are forced migrations there. There are economical migrations are there. So all these migrations and their consequences are discussed in this area. Then concept of over, under, and optimum population. What are the characteristics of these populations? That means in some nations in our world have underpopulation, and in some areas have overpopulated, and some areas have optimum population. So what is the reason for these trends? Then population theories. These are a little bit optional thing. Which are the major population theories? Then world population problems and policies is this main area. Social well-being and quality of life. Population as a social capital. That's a optional area. Then type and patterns of rural settlement. It is a little bit GS area. Then environmental issues in rural settlements. Hierarchy of urban settlements, urban morphology, concept of primate city and rank size rule, etc., etc. These things are from optional areas. Even though this area have some correlation with your GS paper, and you can get enough points, or you can get enough information from the current affairs. So it's an easy area for the geography optional, the population and settlement geography. Even in the human geographical part, the perspective in human geography is a little bit tough. And the rest economic geography and the population and settlement geography are easy things. So you can easily understood these things, and you can read well, and you can answer, and you can write the answers in a good manner. Second one, the regional planning. What's the concept? That's the concept of region, which are the type of the regions, and the methods of regionalism, growth centers and the growth poles. What is the regional imbalances? They mean regional imbalance means some areas are economically very well areas, and some areas very poor, and what is the reason behind these issues? And region, what are the strategies for the region development, and what are the environmental issues in region planning? Here we are dealing with the Environmental Impact Act, EIA. So these topics are dealing with the regional planning. Then planning for sustainable development. Then the fifth topic, the models, theories, and laws in human geography. This is quite a static thing, because many thinkers contributed many models and theories in geography relating to the human geography. There is a there is a Maxian, and there is other Weber's model. There's a Van Thun model, and some models are there. And these models are exclusively for designing an area, exclusively for determining the growth of a particular area, and it is determining for or designing a industrial area. And all these things are related with the models, theories, and laws in human geography. It's an essential thing for planning and development. So it is regularly it's a regular hot topic for the option paper. So it is a very serious one. It is a serious area, and you should definitely go through this area. And there are some books for the model theories and laws in geography. I will explain you later. Okay, these things are included in your first paper. That means the physical geography. And the next is the geography of India. Okay, see what are the topics. What is the physical setting? The space relationship for India with the neighboring countries. That is India and its neighboring countries. What's the boundaries and the situation of the boundaries, and that is little bit a bilateral issue. You are regularly dealing with these things in newspapers. Space relationship with India with the neighboring countries. Then structure and relief of India. That means the mountains, the plateaus and plains of India, and how they evolved, and what is the mechanism behind this formation. Then next is the drainage system and watershed. That is the rivers. The physiographical regions, major physiographic regions. Then the mechanism of Indian monsoon and the rainfall pattern. Then tropical cyclones and the western disturbances, flood and drought, climatical region, natural vegetation, soil type, and their distributions. And all these things are also in GS paper. So while you are studying the GS paper, all these things are including there. So it is not a tough thing. Physical setting is as an easy portion. And next is the resources. The land, surface, the groundwater, energy, mineral, biotic, marine resources. That's actually leading with your economics portion. Which are the major land resources? That is the soil, rocks. Then surface and groundwater resources. Means the wells and groundwater. Energy, petroleum resources. And their occurrences. How they formed. What is the economical viability of that resources? All these things are discussed in resource area. Then the forest and wildlife resources and their conservation. Actually, this resource area is very important for your GS mains. And you get enough notes and you get enough readings from Yojana and Kurukshetra. Because Yojana and Kurukshetra articles are always related to, or they are always discussing these issues related to resource, and also in energy crisis. The third portion is agriculture. Agriculture, what is the agriculture infrastructure? Irrigation, seeds, fertilizer, power, institutional factors, I mean the credits, banks, then land holding, land tenure, land reforms, the cropping pattern, agriculture productivity. See, all these topics are you can find in economics and agriculture, economic and agriculture topics. So agriculture intensity, crop combination, land capability are the optional topics. Agro and agroforestry is a little bit a GS paper. Green revolution and its socio-economic ecological implications is what it means. Significance of dry farming, livestock resources and the white revolution is a paper. Then aquaculture, sericulture, apiculture and poultry. Agriculture regionalism, agroclimatic zones, agroecological regions. Actually, these topics are very easy to study, and it have a correlation with the GS paper. So you have only a little effort to study these things. That's one of the advantage of the geography paper, especially the geography of India. The next is the industry. Evolution of our industries. Locational factors, I mean evolution, how the industries are evolved in India from the historical time to the present time. Then what are the major locational factors of the industries? Then why these industries are located in that area? Then what are the major locational factors? Then from where that industry got the resources and what is the market of the industry? Then jute, textile, iron and steel, aluminum, fertilizer, paper, chemical and pharmaceutical, automobile, cottage and agro-based industries, almost discussing almost all the industrial sectors of India. The industrial houses and complexes. Then what are the major public undertakings? What is industrial regionalism? What is the new industrial policy? What is special economic zones? Even ecotourism. These are the major things in industry. Actually, it's an interesting one because this area have a very current relevance, and many questions are asking from this area for the prelims and for the mains. And transport and communication and trade. Major transport systems in India: road, railway, waterway, airway, pipeline network. Then what is their contemporary role in region development? Then how these transport systems are helpful for the development. Then what are the importance of ports and national foreign trade, trade balance, trade policy, export processing zone, and these are the economic areas. Development, communication from technology, their impact on economy and society. Indian space program. So basically, Indian space program is included in your science and technology portion for the prelims. So in transport, communication and trade, you don't need to read any extra thing because almost all areas have a correlation with the GS. So it is very easy to understand. You just need a reading thing. You just need a reading for reading the articles and reading the materials which I provide to you. Then the sixth one is the cultural setting. This is actually related to Indian society. Historical perspective, Indian society. How Indian society was evolved. How Indian population was evolved. It's a racial and linguistic and ethnic diversities. In India, we can find that in different states we have found different racial and linguistic groups. How they evolved, what their historical background. All these things are discussed in Indian society. It's a racial, linguistic, and ethnic diversities. Then religious minorities are there. Major tribes, tribal areas and their problems. Tribal areas and their problems is a hot topic for the prelims and mains. Then cultural regions. What are the major cultural regions? Because the cultures are related to language. So the growth, distribution, and the density of population, that is dealing with the population aspect of India. That is the demographic characteristics of India. So what is the growth of Indian population? It is underpopulated or it is overpopulated, or it is young populated or old age populated, or it's a dependent population or is a working population. All these things are discussed in this area. See the demographic attributes: sex ratio, age structure, literacy rate, workforce, dependency rate ratio, longevity, migrations. You can't avoid these portions for your prelims preparation. So that is the advantage of geography option, that you can easy to study these things along with your prelims preparation. No need to make an extra reading for that. Okay, then associate problems, population problems and policies, health indicators. That is the human development indicators. So next is settlement. Type and patterns and the morphology of rural settlements. In rural areas, you can see different kind of settlements. They may be in a circular shape, they may be in a star shape, or they may be in a distance type. So that type of patterns are discussed in this area. This is an interesting thing. Then urban development. That is the city planning, morphology of Indian cities, functional classification of Indian cities, functional classification of Indian cities. So some cities are classified as per the function of that area. Some cities are industrial cities. Some cities are cultural cities. So we can classify Indian cities on the basis of its functions. Then conurbations and metropolitan regions. What is the metropolitan region? What is conurbations? What are the conditions for its formation? Then urban sprawl. It is one of the major issue of current scenario. Urban sprawl, that is growth of urban area. And definitely the slums and associated problems is one of the important thing. And it is frequently asking in GS mains. Then town planning, problems of urbanization and the remedies, all these things are included in settlement. Next one, we have some other topics, region development and planning. See, in this topic, we are going to study about regional planning in India. That is the 5-year plans. Regional planning means we have plans for hill area, we have the plans for the desert area, and what is the significance of that planning? Why we are planning for a particular region? So these things are explained in region development and planning. 5-year planning, 5-year plans. These are one of the important area for the prelims and for the mains in GS. You can't avoid this area, 5-year planning. Integrated Rural Development Programs, IRDP, is exclusively in economic portion. Panchayati Raj and decentralized planning. Panchayati Raj is in polity area. Command area development. Watershed management. Planning for backward area. The command area, watershed management, and the schemes for the command area development, watershed management, they are frequently asking in GS, in prelims and also in mains. So there are different schemes for these areas. So as a part of your prelim study, you can complete these areas along with your prelims preparation. Planning for backward area, desert, drought-prone area, tribal area development, multi-level planning, regional planning, and development of island territories. That is development for the Lakshadweep, development for the Andaman Nicobar areas and other island territories. So these areas are included in regional development and planning. It's an interesting topic. It's not a dry one. It's an interesting topic because you can find live examples, you can find live cases for this area, and it is very interesting to read and have a coincidence with the GS paper also. Then political aspects. See, what is the political aspects? See, it have a relationship with our polity paper. Geographical basis of Indian federalism, how Indian federalism is formed. State reorganization. In polity, you will study about state reorganization. The emergence of new states. So what is the reason for emerging new states? Recently, we observed Telangana. So like the same way, in India, we have some other demands for the creation of new states. So what is the geographical background for the formation of new states? The regional consciousness and the interstate issues, means the boundary issues and the sharing of waters. The international boundary of India and related issues, border issues, cross-border terrorism, India's role in world affairs, geopolitics of South Asia and the Indian Ocean realm. Actually, these are IR topics, international relation topics. So it is also included in geography optional paper. The last one is the contemporary issues. Contemporary issues is largely related to current affairs. At the same time, these topics are frequently asking in GS prelims and mains. See, the environmental hazards. You can't avoid these topics. Environmental hazards. Landslide, earthquakes, tsunamis, flood and drought, epidemics. In every day or in every year, we are facing these issues from each and every part of our nation and from the world. Issues relating to environmental pollution. Then what are the changes in patterns of land use? Then land use pattern changes. That means the agricultural land is converted to urban areas, and what are the impacts? All the things are discussing here. Principles of environmental impact assessment and environmental management is one of the important topic right now. what is the major impacts of what is major environmental impact assessments regarding the recent environmental impact assessment bill, then population explosion and food security, environmental degradation, deforestation, desertification, soil erosion, problems of agrarian and industrial unrest, regional disparities, then consensus sustainable growth and development, environmental awareness, linkage of rivers, globalization and Indian economy. See, in contemporary issues, most of the topic have a role in GS paper also. So it is a very easy one, and you can read it along with your GS paper, and there is no extra reading for optional paper is required. Okay, so that is the attractive thing for the geography option. You can see this kind of similarity in any other options in your mains, and most of the topic have a correlation with your GS paper. So it is an easy task for completing this vast syllabus. Even the topics are vast. The number of topics are very vast, but it is very easy to understand, or very easy to read, or very easy to complete the topics. And we need a 4-month preparation for completing the entire syllabus. Starting from the September, we can complete the entire syllabus in January or mid of the January. So you can complete the syllabus along with your GS preparations. That is the major thing for the geography optional paper. Okay, let us see the last year question paper for our geography option. This is the first paper. What is the major questions included in what is the kind of questions asking in your optional paper? See, in optional questions, the first set of questions are 1 and 5 are compulsory questions. In first questions we have 5 sub questions. You can compulsory write these questions. It's a compulsory one. But last year in 2019 mains examination is an easy one. So the questions are very easy. So look at the questions. See what are sand pits and chambolas formed. These topics are regularly found in, and you can, when you read the basic test for oceanography, these topics are there. And compare and contrast different type of plate boundaries, one of the basic topic. Then explain the nature of urban climate and their impact on global environmental change. So in every section, you can find very simple questions in geography option paper. But the way in which you are answering these questions is important. Okay, that means the questions seem to be very simple, but the way in you are answering. See, this is the type of an answer paper for a geography option. There's nothing to write more, but you have to draw some diagrams, then some chart, and some drawings are there. So these drawings and these charts are should be included in your geography optional paper. Okay, so there is nothing more to write. You just give your answers with the help of diagrams and this kind of charts and this kind of graphs. That is actually you are practicing for your geography option. While you are preparing for the geography options, you should be familiar with, or you should be mastering in writing this style, or you should include diagrams and drawings like this. So that's one of the major duty for your students. Become more familiar with, or become more trained about writing answers in this format. See, this is the question for the second paper for the geography, Indian geography. In Indian geography area, first question is coming from map. So you have 10 questions from locations. is the Lothal River Bias, Chilkadara, Narora, Lengpuri, Kuldia Wildlife Sanctuary, Tenmala, Armudi, Barren Island, Durgatavani Creek.
Sorry for interruption.
For last year.
So we can't see the slides according to what you're explaining, sir.
Oh, I see. Can you see this?
So can you stop sharing and then share again? I think some
Okay. Can you see this slide?
Sir.
No, sir.
So can you please maybe try to stop sharing and then share once more? The slide is not moving; it's frozen.
Okay.
Actually, you can change the slide, just don't quit the slide.
Okay.
Sir, actually, you can't do anything with changing slides for everyone. Everyone itself can change their slides by their own side. But the thing is, don't quit the slide.
Yes, that's correct. That's correct.
But how will we know which slide he is talking about?
See, I can't get any option to quit this slide. So in my screen, I can't get any option to quit this slide.
Depending
So
on what he's
anyone help
saying,
me?
you can figure out on which slide he is.
Yeah, now he is on the 16th slide.
Yeah. He's on the right now. He's on the 16th slide. Yes.
16th slide. Yeah, right now you are seeing the topic paper 2, right? Can anyone change
Yes,
it?
sir. Now we can see you changing the slide.
I'm not actually changing. Someone is changing. Okay. See, now you're seeing the answer paper, right?
Yeah, sir. Yeah.
Okay. And in this slide is your question paper for the second paper. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay, this is the geography of India. That's question paper for geography of India. The first set of questions are compulsory. We have 10 places given in that question paper. For every places, you have to write not more than 30 words for each entry. And while you look at these places, it's quite familiar to you. Some places are right now. It is very quite familiar to you, and that's why it is very easy to answer these questions. So, as a part of your preparation, option paper preparations, you have definitely go to the places in which in current affairs. When you're regularly reading the current affairs, you will get some places, and definitely you will point out that places with the help of an atlas, and you can definitely then also you write some points, and you prepare some points as a note, and it will be helpful for you to answer the question for the question for this location. Okay. Then the next one is that changed?
No, sir, it's still the question paper.
Okay. If possible, someone please change it.
So you can just mention the slide number and we'll change it, sir. Thank you.
I'm just mentioning the, now I'm reading the slide 17.
You're able to change it. Thank you.
Okay. See, just look at the questions. The first one, examine the major cause of groundwater depletion in India. It seems to be a very easy one. So it's actually, these kind of questions are regularly asking in GS paper. Then why is Indian monsoon is erratic in nature? Explain. It's a kind of an old type of question, but it is recently asked in 2019. Then explain significance of dry farming in drought-prone areas of India. The dry farming means the kind of farming performed in desert areas or the water, or the areas having water issues or poor drainage systems. Then correlate the agroclimatic zones with the agroecological regions of India. So so you just correlate the climatic zones and agriculture regions. So in what agriculture is practicing in a particular climatic area. So that topic are agroclimatic zones and agroecological regions. It's actually a question from a previous question. Then critically analyze the role of multinational corporations in India economic development. Multinational corporations in India's economic development. Actually, every day we are dealing with these issues. The role of multinational corporations in Indian development, like the business houses in India and their roles for determining India's economy. Then discuss how watershed management. And when you look at this question paper, you can find very easy questions. It's very easy to attempt and it is easy to write and have very high correlation with your topics. That's why the geography is an easy one. And even though it has some difficulties regarding regarding its scientific nature, but it is very easy to understand. And that's a major interesting thing in which many candidates choose geography as their options. Okay, that's what I am plan to discuss with you. Okay, if you have any doubts regarding the preparation, you just communicate with me. If you have any doubt, please ask me.
Sir, in the beginning, actually, you said no. Actually, geography is like answering something in a science paper, and no, there is no much interpretations of your skill, like thinking skill. But when I saw this paper too, I felt more like there are interpretations, like the Indian monsoon erratic in nature explained. So that should come from your thinking skills. No?
Actually, the erratic nature of Indian monsoon is its basics, or it's that is what are the reason for erratic nature of monsoon, or what are the factors responsible for it. Okay, the factors responsible for the erratic nature of monsoon is already studying in the basics portions. And there are jet streams are there. There is El Nino and La Nino is there. These are the major factors responsible for the erratic nature of Indian monsoons. That's what we need to write in that essay.
So mentioning the factors itself will help us to score. That's what you meant, right?
Why is Indian monsoon nature explained? That's the question, right? Okay. What is erratic means there are some factors responsible for this nature. The factors related to the climate change, factors related to the pressure change, and factors related to some phenomena evolved in many parts of the world. It's also dealing with or also affecting Indian monsoon. That's why Indian monsoon is erratic in nature. Okay, then you have to explain.
No, sir. I am asking you, like mentioning the only things we know, like the factors, which are the major factors, like which affect these monsoon erratics. So mentioning that itself, for we have to write from our thinking skill, like interpretations are also needed with this award.
No interpretation is needed.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you.
You just point out the factors. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
There is no scope for the interpretations because these are related to studies which are coming from, which are the outcomings of scientific studies. So you don't need to interpret it.
Okay, sir. Okay. So at the beginning you said like no much interpretations are needed. So when I saw this question, I was confused like whether this need some interpretations or what. My doubt is clear.
It look like okay. It is look like to need some interpretation, but actually it does not need interpretations. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you.
So the completion of the entire syllabus duration of 4 months means we can complete the portions by January. That means we need a class for 4 to 5 classes in a week. We need 4 to 5 classes in a week on the two purpose. So I'm planning to take the geography option. Okay, then for the preparation, now I'm mentioning some books and how to read, or how to or which are major books to read, and what are the preliminary readings should be included in the geography optional. The first thing is the basic textbooks. Our NCERT textbooks are the basic textbooks for the geography optional preparations. That is the NCERT textbooks from standard 6 to 10 and the standards 11 to 12. Actually, the 6 to 10 books are for your basics, because these textbooks are easily it's explaining the basic things very easy manner, and the textbooks for the 11th and 12th is very important for preparation, and within 1 month you should complete all these textbooks, and after completing these textbooks you get enough idea about the fundamentals, and after that you have to read some other reference textbooks for preparations. Okay, I will explain the textbooks. I will explain the name of textbooks when you come into the class. But there are some textbooks. Now I give you some names. That is the Physical Geography by Savindra Singh, one of the textbooks for the preparation. Physical Geography by Savindra Singh. Geomorphology by Savindra Singh. Then Climatology, Oceanography, and Biogeography. These 3 books are written by Savindra Singh.
Could you share with us in text?
And okay, I can type into the chat. Chocho.
സാർ ഇപ്പോൾ പറയുന്ന ബുക്സ് ഓപ്ഷനിൽ എടുക്കുന്നവർക്ക് വേണ്ടിയിട്ടാണോ അതോ നമുക്ക് GS ലേക്ക് കൂടി include
option. It's only for the option. It's only for the option paper.
Hello, sir.
Hi.
Sir,
ഫണ്ടമെന്റൽസ് പഠിക്കാൻ ബിഗിന്നേഴ്സിന് അതിന് മജീദ് ഹുസൈൻ്റെ ഇന്ത്യൻ ആൻഡ് വേൾഡ് ജോഗ്രഫി നല്ല ബുക്കാണോ സർ?
മജീദ് ഹുസൈൻ വായിക്കുന്നതിന് മുമ്പായിട്ട് നിങ്ങൾ ബേസിക് NCERT വായിച്ചിരിക്കണം. ബിക്കോസ് മജീദ് ഹുസൈൻ ഈസ് കുറച്ചുകൂടെ ടഫ് ആണ്, ബിക്കോസ് ഹീസ് ഡീലിംഗ് വിത്ത് ഏരിയാസ് ഇൻ എ കോംപ്ലിക്കേറ്റഡ് മാനർ. So before you reading the Majid Hussain, first you read the NCERT textbooks.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
ഹലോ ഹലോ
Yeah.
സാറിന്റെ മൊബൈൽ
Hello,
നമ്പർ
പറയൂ.
മൊബൈൽ നമ്പർ ഒന്ന് തരാൻ പറ്റുമോ?
Okay. Okay. See, the GC Leong, along with the NCERT textbook, I forgot to say that the GC Leong is also a fundamental book for your preparation. GC Leong, Certificate Physical and Human Geography by Goching Leong. That's one of the important tips for your fundamental preparation. How we read the NCERT text, not from that. Okay. While you're reading the NCERT textbooks, you should prepare yourself from that textbook. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മളൊരു പാരഗ്രാഫ് വായിക്കുമ്പോഴേക്കും ഒരു പാരഗ്രാഫ് നമ്മൾ അതിൻ്റെ ആ ഒരു പാരഗ്രാഫിലുള്ള ഏറ്റവും പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ട പോയിന്റ്സ് യു ക്യാൻ ഈസിലി ഐഡന്റിഫൈ ദ മേജർ പോയിന്റ്സ് ഇൻ ദാറ്റ് പാരഗ്രാഫ്. അപ്പോൾ ഡോണ്ട് റൈറ്റ് ദാറ്റ് പാരഗ്രാഫ് ആസ് സച്ച്. അങ്ങനെ പാരഗ്രാഫിനെ എഴുതി വെക്കേണ്ട, മറിച്ച് ആ പാരഗ്രാഫിൽ നിന്ന് ഏറ്റവും പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ട പോയിന്റ്സ് മാത്രം എന്ത് ചെയ്താൽ മതി, ലൈക്ക് എ ബുള്ളറ്റ് പോയിന്റ് ആയിട്ട് എന്ത് ചെയ്യാം, എഴുതി വെക്കുക. അപ്പോൾ ആ ഒരു ബുള്ളറ്റ് പോയിന്റിൽ പ്രിപ്പയർ സെൽഫ് നോട്ട് ഫ്രം ദ ബേസിക് NCERT ടെക്സ്റ്റ് ബുക്സ്.
സാർ പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ടായിരുന്നില്ലേ കണ്ടംപററി ഇഷ്യൂസ് ആയിട്ട് റിലേറ്റ് ചെയ്തിട്ടുള്ള ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസ്, ഒരു എക്സാമ്പിൾ പറഞ്ഞുതരുമോ?
Contemporary issues and related issues. Okay, contemporary issues recently for the mains paper, then the naming of cyclones. How we name the cyclones. Recently നമുക്ക് സൈക്ലോൺസ് ഒക്കെ ഒരുപാട് ഇന്ത്യയുടെ പല പ്രദേശത്തും വന്നിട്ടുണ്ടല്ലോ. സോ നമുക്ക് പല പേരും കൊടുത്തു സൈക്ലോൺസിന്. അപ്പൊ എങ്ങനെയാണ് സൈക്ലോണിനെ നെയിം ചെയ്യുന്നത്? ഇറ്റ്സ് ആക്ച്വലി എ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ആസ്ക്ഡ് ഇൻ യുവർ GS paper first. Yes, definitely Nepal issue is there. നമ്മുടെ Nepal India border issues are there. അതും ഇതിന്റെ included ആണ്. Then ഇപ്പോൾ Indo-China issue. The current Indo-China issue is also we have to deal with that issue. So I have a plan to create a separate WhatsApp group. Yeah, tell me.
എല്ലാവർക്കും വളരെ ഡൗട്ട് ആയിരിക്കും ഈ കറണ്ട് അഫയേഴ്സ് എങ്ങനെ പ്രിപ്പയർ ചെയ്യേണ്ടത്, എങ്ങനെ പഠിക്കേണ്ടത് കറണ്ട് അഫയേഴ്സ്.
ആക്ച്വലി നമ്മുടെ പ്രിപ്പറേഷനിലെ പ്രിലിമിനറി പ്രിപ്പറേഷനിലെ ഏറ്റവും പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ട ടോപ്പിക്സ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഒന്ന് ഹിസ്റ്ററി, എക്കണോമിക്സ്, ഇന്ത്യൻ പോളിറ്റി, ദെൻ എൻവയോൺമെന്റ് എക്കോളജി. ഈ പറയുന്ന പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ടതാണ് നമ്മുടെ ഏറ്റവും പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ട ടോപ്പിക്സ്. ബിക്കോസ് മോസ്റ്റ് നമ്പർ ഓഫ് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസ് ആസ്കിംഗ് ഫ്രം ദിസ് ഏരിയ. നിങ്ങൾ കറണ്ട് അഫയേഴ്സ് പ്രിപ്പയർ ചെയ്യുമ്പോഴത്തേക്കും ഈ മേഖലയിൽ നിന്ന് വരുന്ന ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസ് എന്ത് ചെയ്യണം, ഈ മേഖലയിൽ നിന്നുള്ള പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ട ന്യൂസ് എന്ത് ചെയ്യണം, നിങ്ങൾ നോക്കിയിരിക്കണം. അപ്പോൾ ന്യൂസ് പേപ്പർ എടുത്തിട്ട് ഇപ്പോൾ പലരുടെയും ഇഷ്യൂ ആണ് ഡെയിലി ന്യൂസ് പേപ്പർ വായിക്കുമ്പോൾ ഒരുപാട് സമയം ഇതിൽ ന്യൂസ് പേപ്പർ വായിക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി സ്പെൻഡ് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്. ഇപ്പോൾ ഒരു ഹിന്ദു ന്യൂസ് പേപ്പർ വായിക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ യു ഹാവ് ടു സ്പെൻഡ് അറ്റ്ലീസ്റ്റ് 3 hours ടു കംപ്ലീറ്റ് ദ എൻറ്റയർ ന്യൂസ് പേപ്പർ. സോ ആ ഒരു ഇഷ്യൂ ഓവർകം ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് ഞാൻ പറയുന്ന എൻ്റെ ഒരു സജഷൻ എന്ന് വെച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ നമുക്ക് ഈ പറയുന്ന ന്യൂസ് പേപ്പറിലെ ന്യൂസുകൾ തന്നെ ഓൾറെഡി എന്ത് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്, നമുക്ക് പല ഓൺലൈൻ പ്ലാറ്റ്ഫോമിൽ എന്ത് ചെയ്യും കിട്ടും, ഷോർട്ട് ബിറ്റ് ആയിട്ട് എന്ത് ചെയ്യും എല്ലാ ന്യൂസും കിട്ടും. പക്ഷേ യു ഹാവ് ടു റീഡ് ദ എഡിറ്റോറിയൽ ആൻഡ് ഒപ്പീനിയൻ പേജ്. എഡിറ്റോറിയൽ പേജും ഒപ്പീനിയൻ പേജും എന്ത് ചെയ്യണം, മസ്റ്റ് ആയിട്ട് വായിച്ചിരിക്കണം. അപ്പോൾ ആ ഒരു 2 പേജ് വായിക്കുന്ന ബർഡൻ മാത്രമേ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ആക്ച്വലി ന്യൂസ് പേപ്പറിൽ നിന്നുള്ളൂ. ആ ന്യൂസ് പേപ്പർ മുഴുവൻ വായിക്കാൻ നിന്ന് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ സമയം ഒരുപാട് പോകും. ആൻഡ് ദ സെയിം ടൈം നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ഈ പറയുന്ന ന്യൂസ് എല്ലാം തന്നെ എന്ത് ചെയ്യും, വളരെ ക്രക്സ് ആയിട്ട് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ഏതെങ്കിലും പ്ലാറ്റ്ഫോമിൽ നിന്ന് എന്ത് ചെയ്യും അവൈലബിൾ ആയിരിക്കും അത്. ദെൻ ഈ ഒപ്പീനിയനും അതുപോലെ ഈ പറയുന്ന എഡിറ്റോറിയൽ വായിക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി പർട്ടിക്കുലർലി പറയാനുള്ള കാര്യം എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഇറ്റ്സ് വെരി ഹെൽപ്ഫുൾ ഫോർ യുവർ സെക്കൻഡ് പേപ്പർ, ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് ദ CSAT പേപ്പർ. ബിക്കോസ് CSAT പേപ്പർ ദർ ഈസ് കോംപ്രിഹെൻഷൻ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസ്. ഈ കോംപ്രിഹെൻഷൻ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ നമുക്ക് ആൻസർ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റണമെങ്കിൽ നമുക്ക് ഈ പറഞ്ഞ എഡിറ്റോറിയൽ എന്ത് ചെയ്യണം, കൃത്യമായി വായിച്ചിരിക്കണം. കാര്യം എഡിറ്റോറിയലിന്റെ ആ ഒരു റൈറ്റിംഗ് സ്റ്റൈലും അതിന്റെ ഒരു സെന്റൻസിങ് സ്റ്റൈലും ഒക്കെ ഈക്വൽ ടു ദാറ്റ് ഓഫ് ദ കോംപ്രിഹെൻഷൻ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസ്. അപ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് ആ എഡിറ്റോറിയൽ വായിച്ച് മനസ്സിലാക്കാൻ പറ്റുമെങ്കിൽ നമുക്ക് ഈ പറഞ്ഞതുപോലെ ഈ പറഞ്ഞ കോംപ്രിഹെൻഷൻ നമുക്ക് എന്ത് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും, ഈസി ആയിട്ട് എന്ത് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും, നമുക്ക് മനസ്സിലാക്കാൻ പറ്റും അതിനകത്ത്. അപ്പോൾ നിങ്ങളുടെ ഒരു ന്യൂസ് പേപ്പറിനെ സംബന്ധിച്ച് നിങ്ങളുടെ ബർഡൻ, ഞാനൊരു പ്രാക്ടിക്കൽ സെൻസാണ് പറയുന്നത്, പ്രാക്ടിക്കൽ വേ ആണ് പറയുന്നത്. ന്യൂസ് പേപ്പറിൽ നിന്ന് നമുക്ക് വായിച്ചിരിക്കേണ്ടത് മസ്റ്റായിട്ട് ഒരു ഡേ വായിച്ചിരിക്കേണ്ടത് എഡിറ്റോറിയൽ ആൻഡ് ദ ഒപ്പീനിയൻ, ആ ഒരു സംഗതി വായിച്ചിരിക്കണം. ദെൻ റെസ്റ്റ് ഓഫ് ദ തിങ്സ് അത് നമുക്ക് സമയമുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ വായിക്കുക, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അത് എവിടെയെങ്കിലും നമുക്ക് കിട്ടും. നമുക്ക് ഓൺലൈൻ പ്ലാറ്റ്ഫോമിൽ എന്ത് ചെയ്യും, ഡേ ബൈ ഡേ കിട്ടിക്കൊണ്ടിരിക്കും. പിന്നീട് ഇനി വായിക്കണം നിർബന്ധമുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ യു ഹാവ് ടു ഫോക്കസ് ഓൺ ന്യൂസ് റിലേറ്റഡ് ടു എക്കോണമി, യു ആർ ഫോക്കസ് ന്യൂസ് റിലേറ്റഡ് ടു Indian polity, that means the new amendments or regulations, new bills like that, or the news related to judiciary. Then in environment ecology, national parks and the environmental hazards issues and all issues are there, അതും എന്ത് ചെയ്യണം, വായിച്ചിരിക്കണം. ദെൻ അതുപോലെ തന്നെ ഹിസ്റ്ററി, ദ കൾച്ചറൽ സെൻറ്റേഴ്സസ്, പുതിയ കൾച്ചറലായിട്ട് ഏതെങ്കിലും എക്സ്കവേഷൻസ് ഓർ ലൈക്ക് ദാറ്റ് അങ്ങനെ എന്തെങ്കിലും ന്യൂസ് ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ എന്ത് ചെയ്യുക, അത് യൂസ് ചെയ്യുക, അത് വായിക്കുക. സോ ഇതാണ് ഒരു ന്യൂസ് പേപ്പറിൽ ഡെഫിനറ്റായിട്ട് നമ്മൾ ചെയ്തിരിക്കേണ്ട കാര്യം. അതിനുവേണ്ടി അധികം സമയം എന്ത് ചെയ്യാൻ പാടില്ല, സ്പെൻഡ് ചെയ്യാനും പാടില്ല.
ആൻഡ് സർ വൺ മോർ തിങ്, നമുക്ക് അക്കാഡമിയിൽ എന്തെങ്കിലും കറണ്ട് അഫയേഴ്സിന്റെ സമ്മറി പോലെ എന്തെങ്കിലും മന്ത്ലി വീക്കിലി എന്തെങ്കിലും പ്രൊവൈഡ് ചെയ്യുമോ?
യൂഷ്വലി പ്രൊവൈഡ് ചെയ്യുമെന്ന് തോന്നുന്നു, എനിക്കറിയില്ല. ബിക്കോസ് അവിടെ അക്കാഡമിക് കോർഡിനേറ്റേഴ്സ് ആൻഡ് റിസോഴ്സ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ബന്ധപ്പെട്ട ആൾക്കാരുണ്ട്. ദേ ഡെഫിനറ്റ്ലി ഡു ദാറ്റ്, ഐ തിങ്ക്. കാര്യം അത് എസെൻഷ്യൽ ആണ്. കാര്യം എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ നമ്മുടെ വർക്കിനെ ഒന്ന് ഈസി ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് അത് ഡെഫിനറ്റായിട്ട് വേണം. അല്ലെങ്കിൽ നിങ്ങളുടെ ആ ഒരു പഠിക്കുന്ന സമയം എന്ത് ചെയ്യും, വെറുതെ ഈ ന്യൂസ് പേപ്പർ വായിക്കണം, പക്ഷേ എസെൻഷ്യൽ ആയിട്ട് വായിക്കേണ്ട കാര്യം മാത്രമേ വായിക്കാവൂ. അതല്ലാതെ അരച്ച് കലക്കി കുടിക്കേണ്ട ആവശ്യമില്ല അതിനകത്ത്. ഇൻ കേസ് ഡെഫിനറ്റായിട്ട് ചെയ്യും. കാര്യം ആ ഒരു അങ്ങനെയാണ്, പുതിയ ട്രെൻഡ് അങ്ങനെയാണ്, ചെയ്യേണ്ടതാണ് അങ്ങനെ. ഐ തിങ്ക് സോ. അതല്ലെങ്കിൽ നമുക്ക് പറയാം, അതിന് ആവശ്യപ്പെടാം.
ഓക്കെ സർ, താങ്ക് യു.
Sir, recently you bifurcated GS and the mains topic separately. So can you do that once again, or can you make a list so that we can get the knowledge of GS and main separate?
From the
For transport and communication, trade, cultural settings, settlements, you told these are important for the GS topics and these are important for the mains topics, right?
Okay.
So just can you make pointers on that? What all the topics are related to mainly to the GS part? Because those who are selecting the optional as a political science and international relations, the GS paper will be also there, right? So the geography part in which GS will be given the main importance, that all topics you told before. So can we get the just pointers of those topics so we can just focus more on that also?
Okay. When you read the syllabus, you can find that there are topics which have correlation with the GS paper. See, if possible, anyway, I will do that for you, and in next session, I will show you, and I will tell you what is the different topics which are important for both the optional paper and both the GS paper. So you can focus in more on that area.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Vigneshwari ma'am has already said that she will prepare a note on the topics as well as book list, and she will send the mail as soon as possible. So that's not an issue, I think.
Okay. Just wanted to reconfirm. That's it. Thank you.
How much fee for the geography option? You just ask the coordinator. I will give you the detailed book list on next session because it's a common session for all students. Anyway, if you're interested for taking geography as an optional paper, I will give you the detailed book list for the preparation. Okay. can you give some tips for minding maps? Yes, definitely, because every students have an initially every students have an issue with atlas, because it is very difficult to find out the places, and when you read the name of a place, it is very difficult to find, or it is you take more time to find a place on map. So when you practice it in at least for a month, we can easily memorize that map, because നമുക്കത് റിപ്പീറ്റ് ആയിട്ടിലേക്ക് എന്ത് ചെയ്യും, നമ്മൾ ആ ഒരു മാപ്പ് വെച്ചിട്ട് പ്ലേസ് നമ്മൾ കണ്ടുപിടിക്കുമ്പോൾ പല പ്ലേസുകളും പല മാപ്പുകളും നമ്മൾ നോക്കുമ്പോഴത്തേക്കും when you repeat the process, it definitely it will be memorized. Okay, that's not an issue.
എല്ലാ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യനും തന്നെ ഡയഗ്രാം മസ്റ്റാണ്.
ഹലോ സാർ, ലീവ് ചെയ്തിരിക്കുകയാണേ. ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് നാളെ 10:30 ക്ലാസ് ഉണ്ടാവും. എന്തെങ്കിലും ചേഞ്ച് ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അറിയിക്കും. ലിങ്ക് കിട്ടിയില്ലെങ്കിലും സെയിം ലിങ്ക് തന്നെയായിരിക്കും നമ്മൾ യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. അതിൽ തന്നെ കയറിയാൽ മതി. ഓക്കെ.
നാളെ ഏതാണ് സബ്ജക്ട്?
ക്ലാസ് ഇവിടെ നിന്ന് കിട്ടും.
അഡ്മിനിസ്ട്രേഷൻ ഓർ പൊളിറ്റിക്സ് ആയിരിക്കും. 10:30 ഉണ്ടാവും എന്തായാലും. ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അറിയിക്കും. നിങ്ങൾക്ക് എന്തായാലും ലിങ്ക് അയക്കും. കിട്ടിയില്ല എങ്കിലും ഈ ഷെഡ്യൂൾ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് അടുത്ത ദിവസം തന്നെ ഇടാം. ഓക്കെ.
ക്ലാസ്സിന്റെ എല്ലാ റെക്കോർഡഡ് വീഡിയോ
ഷുവർ, നമ്മുടെ യൂട്യൂബ് ചാനലിൽ ഇടുന്നതായിരിക്കും. ഞാൻ ഇട്ടിട്ടുണ്ടായിരുന്നു ഇവിടെ, കേരള സ്റ്റേറ്റ് സിവിൽ സർവീസ് അക്കാഡമി എന്നുള്ളതിന് ഒന്ന് സബ്സ്ക്രൈബ് ചെയ്ത് കയറിയാൽ മതി. അതിലിട്ടേക്കാം. ഇന്ന് ഇടാം. ഓക്കെ.
ഈ കഴിഞ്ഞ ദിവസം ഒരു മെയിൽ ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ടായിരുന്നു ഈ ഓപ്ഷൻസ് കൺഫേം ചെയ്യുന്നതിന് വേണ്ടി. അപ്പോൾ നമുക്കിത് ചേഞ്ച് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുമെന്ന് അറിയാൻ.
ക്ലിയർ ആയില്ല.
ഈ ഇന്നലെ ഒരു മെയിൽ കിട്ടിയിട്ടുണ്ടായിരുന്നു ഓപ്ഷണൽ ഏതാണെന്ന് തിരഞ്ഞെടുക്കുന്നതിന് വേണ്ടി ഒരു കൺഫേം ചെയ്യുന്നതിന് വേണ്ടി ഒരു മെയിൽ. അപ്പോൾ അത് ഓൾറെഡി
ഒന്ന് ടൈപ്പ് മെസ്സേജ് അയക്കോ? ക്ലിയർ ആവുന്നില്ല.
നമുക്കൊരു മെയിൽ വന്നായിരുന്നു ഓപ്ഷനിലൊക്കെ സെലക്ട് ചെയ്യാൻ. അപ്പോൾ അത് ഇപ്പം കൊടുത്തു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ പിന്നെ ചേഞ്ച് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും. ഹലോ,
ജോഗ്രഫിയുടെ സെഷൻ ഓവർ ആയിട്ടുണ്ട്. ഇനി നെക്സ്റ്റ് എന്താ ഫീഡ്ബാക്ക് മെയിൽ. ഓക്കെ, നിങ്ങൾ ഫീഡ്ബാക്ക് മെയിൽ സെൻഡ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ടല്ലോ എല്ലാവരും.
തീയതിയിലെ ക്ലാസ് മിസ്സായിട്ടുണ്ട്. അത് ഏതിലെ?
നമ്മളുടെ ഒരു യൂട്യൂബ് ചാനലുണ്ട്, കേരള സ്റ്റേറ്റ് സിവിൽ സർവീസ് അക്കാഡമി.
അതിൽ സെർച്ച് ചെയ്തു.
കഴിഞ്ഞ ദിവസം ഇട്ടിട്ടില്ല, ഇന്നോ നാളെയായിട്ട് ഇടും. എല്ലാ ക്ലാസ്സുകളും നിങ്ങൾക്ക് കിട്ടും. ഓറിയന്റേഷൻ ക്ലാസ് ഇനി എന്തെങ്കിലും ഡൗട്ട് ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ സെന്ററിൽ കോൾ ചെയ്താൽ മതി, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ കോർഡിനേറ്റേഴ്സിന് നിങ്ങളുടെ കയ്യിൽ അവൈലബിൾ ആയിട്ടുള്ള നമ്പറിൽ കോൾ ചെയ്താൽ മതി. അതിൽ വിളിച്ച് അന്വേഷിച്ചാൽ മതി. ഓക്കെ, സെഷൻ ലീവ് ചെയ്യാണ്.
താങ്ക് യു.
താങ്ക് യു മാം.
താങ്ക് യു.
Thank you.